Corey Teague, 65 Prince Street. I want to reference earlier, there was a powerful prayer that went forth earlier tonight. And in that prayer, there was a call for healing. The problem is, even though I agree with it, you cannot heal what you fail to address. Let's talk about wound care for about a minute and a half. If somebody has a wound, 'cause I used to be a diabetic. I'm no longer diabetic. But when a diabetic gets a wound, they first have to clean the wound. They have to cut off the dead skin or whatever is irritating the wound. They have to cut out the infection. Then they have to wrap up the wound and start a healing process after they cut out the cancer or whatever's there or whatever the infection is. Right now, 111 Broadway is an infection in this city. And if we don't get over there and start cutting away the bad apples, because there are some bad apples, as Sebastian Mejia said, this isn't an anti-police movement. But I can tell you right now, and if the officer was standing in front of me, I'd say it in front of him. There was an officer on the Patterson Police Department earlier this year who's good friends of mine. We're almost brothers. And he told me to my face, I went to his house. He said, some of my brothers in blue told me that my association with you may make it where if I have to call them in case of an emergency, they might take the scenic route instead of going straight to the situation. So he would have to now back away from me just because he doesn't want to lose that connection with his brothers in blue. And he knows I'm telling the truth. I say it right in front of him. That's why you haven't seen me hanging with certain folks. Because if you want to disown me for standing up for what's right, then I don't want to be bothered with you. I don't care who you are. I don't want to be bothered with you. Let me tell y'all something. I am not standing at this podium as a perfect man. I am not standing at this podium as a flawless man. I am not standing at this podium as a man who's never made mistakes and continues to make mistakes. I'm standing at this podium as a man that wants righteousness in this city. I'm a man that's standing up for a family, and let me say this, that's standing up for a family that reached out to me because they needed my help. Whoever reaches out to me is going to get my help. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your nationality is, what your religious beliefs are. I don't care what it is that you have going on in your personal life. If you call me for help, I'm going to be there to advocate for you, no matter what the condition is. Felix De Jesus went missing on February 2nd, 2022, over 6 months. He has not been found, and the only thing we know is that after a harrowing experience with 2 Patterson police officers, he disappeared. If you look at the body cam footage, you don't see any white shirts in the video. You see no supervisors there. You see no protocol being followed. All you hear is 10-12. What assignment was finished? There was no protocol. There was no call to the EMTs. There was no 911 call to have them come pick him up. They had no business putting him in the back of that car. They didn't read him his Miranda rights. They didn't do anything. To be honest with you, they did absolutely nothing. And what makes matters worse, we have no evidence or anything that we can even look at to see exactly what happened. And now they're expecting the family to come here and be calm and be complacent. You cannot tell grieving folks how to grieve. You cannot do that. I'm sorry. There comes a time, I'm an elected official, you all are elected officials, but there comes a time when we have to stop being politicians and just be human beings. That's what this time is. This family doesn't want sympathy. All they want is somebody who's going to do the right thing. Am I right? Am I right or wrong? They just want somebody who's going to do the right thing. That's all I'm asking you. Do the right thing.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.